Drew McIntyre reportedly isn't happy with not being booked in a major title match at WrestleMania 41. Daniel Garcia is still the TNT champion after going to a time limit draw with Adam Cole last night on Collision. Details on Vince McMahon changing the finish to Edge versus Finn Balor inside Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania 39 a few years ago have now come to light. Braun Breaker will be defending the Intercontinental Championship against Penta Monday night on Raw from Glasgow. The date and location for Ring of Honor's Supercard of Honor pay-per-view has been revealed. WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry announces he signed a new WWE Legends deal. Jay White reportedly missed this week's AEW Dynamite due to the Omaha blizzard. The backstage reaction to SmackDown in Bologna has been revealed, and Max Caster says Anthony Bowens isn't coming back to AEW. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with Drew McIntyre. With 4 weeks to go until WWE's grandest stage of them all, the card for the two-night event in Las Vegas is beginning to take shape, with 6 matches official thus far. Among the matches announced for WrestleMania 41 are the undisputed WWE Championship match between Cody Rhodes and John Cena, and Gunther defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Jey Uso. This time last year, of course, it was Drew McIntyre who was heading into the WrestleMania 40 event as the challenger for Seth Rollins' World Heavyweight title, a match that he won, only to be cashed in on by the then Money in the Bank holder Damian Priest moments later. Speaking to the Daily Star, McIntyre was asked about potentially facing Priest at WrestleMania 41, as seems to be WWE's creative direction at present. While he called for fans to give the angle between he and Damian Priest a chance, the Scottish Warrior admitted that he's pissed off not being booked in a title match at the event in Las Vegas, given how successful a 2024 he had. McIntyre said, quote, "We've still got 6 weeks until Mania, and anything can change in that time. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't pissed off at not being one of the title matches after the 2024 I had, but it's just something I'm so highly competitive about, and sometimes, there's only a few spots. I appreciated when the fans' reaction was, oh my goodness, it's Priest and Drew. There's nothing there. I'm like, bloody hell, give us a chance to tell the story. The thing with Priest has been going on since last year's WrestleMania when he cashed in on me after I was assaulted by Punk. He doesn't know how to succeed unless it's at my expense. Elimination Chamber, I claymored Cena. Instead of going, I'll let Drew pin Cena first, he eliminates me. It's the only way he knows how to succeed because he's a vulture, a parasite, a big emo vulture. Finally, he's got my attention because they've got nothing else. I stomped him in his big stupid head last week, and if he wants to keep coming back for more, if it goes all the way to WrestleMania, it's a year of making this story, and he deserves the biggest stage of all to get his stupid looking ass kicked. Now, as well as the 2 previously mentioned matches, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the WWE Women's Championship and the Women's World Championship bout between Io Sky and Bianca Belair have also been confirmed. Following SmackDown on Friday, we now know that Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton is official for the show, while Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins was also announced after their chaotic brawl in Bologna. Now let's go to AEW Collision last night and the AEW TNT Championship. Daniel Garcia retained the AEW TNT Championship for the 7th time on the March 22nd episode of AEW Collision, but not because he won the match. Garcia was in the ring against Adam Cole, who had also challenged for the title 3 weeks ago on the March 1st episode of Collision. That match was ruled a no contest when both participants were attacked by Shane Taylor Promotions. This one also ended without a victor, as the 20-minute time limit expired before either man could earn a fall. Cole and Garcia both sold lower body injuries at various points in the bout, and both were able to fight out of submission holds late, grasping the bottom rope to force a rope break. Cole's escape of Garcia's Dragon Tamer took him out to the ring apron, where Cole was able to hit a destroyer that sent Garcia to the outside. Cole rolled Garcia back into the ring, but rather than go for a cover, he set Garcia up for the running knee strike in AEW, known as the Boom. Unfortunately for Cole, the bell rang just before he could deliver the blow, signaling a time limit draw and keeping the title in Garcia's hands again, to the visible frustration of Cole, who still hasn't won a title in AEW. Cole and Garcia opened the pre-taped and preempted Collision episode dubbed Slam Dunk Saturday, meaning their match immediately followed the Houston Cougars' 81-76 March Madness victory over Gonza. The other half of the episode, Slam Dunk Sunday, will air today, following the conclusion of the NCAA men's basketball on TNT. Of course, Garcia defeated Jack Perry for the TNT Championship back in November at AEW Full Gear. All of his title defenses have taken place on Collision, with the exception of the one that took place on the Jericho Cruise in this year. This is a really interesting story here when it comes to a change in finish when it comes to Adam Copeland, Edge. There's been criticism, hasn't there, about Adam Copeland / Edge / Cope's refusal to do jobs since he's come back to professional wrestling in 2020 after he recovered from triple fusion neck surgery. But one of those matches he actually wanted to do the job for, and Vince McMahon decided to go in another direction. Of course, Vince McMahon is apparently out of WWE, perhaps once and for all, but even after stepping away in 2022, several of his changes and adjustments were felt throughout the year in 2023. In early 2023, Fightful's Sean Rossap reported on The Hump that WWE talent had learned that Vince McMahon's influence was being felt in the months leading up to WrestleMania. Among those included several talent not being featured on WWE television, changes to shows, and the like. Now, Fightful say they've heard one of those significant changes that was made to WrestleMania 39. Fightful has learned that originally Finn Balor was scheduled to defeat Edge, aka Cope, at WrestleMania. However, Vince McMahon wanted Cope to pick up the victory, despite Adam Copeland pushing to put over Finn Balor. This was a match that featured the demon version of Finn Balor, helping culminate a feud with the Judgment Day, which Cope had created. Creative and industry sources have claimed that Balor was originally scheduled to win, but McMahon pushed for the change. Fightful aren't even sure if the talent themselves were told of the original plan or the shift, as usually that gets relayed on the day of the show in WWE. There was a lot of speculation that the oft-criticised Cody Rhodes loss to Roman Reigns at the same PLE was a Vince McMahon call. While Vince McMahon was in favour of the decision, Fightful have been told that was the plan pretty much all the way through. The next night, of course, infamously, McMahon made sweeping changes to the Raw after Mania. One source at the time compared McMahon to the Tasmanian Devil, running in, eating up the script, and ruining the show, and then leaving. Speaking of Raw, tomorrow's episode emanates from Glasgow, Scotland, and a big match has been confirmed. It seems that challengers are coming from all different angles for the Intercontinental Champion Bron Breakker, with the latest being the Celtic Warrior Sheamus at a WWE live event in Belfast, Northern Ireland. Tomorrow, Breakker will have to move on and face another opponent as WWE heads to Glasgow, Scotland for Raw. Per Raw General Manager Adam Pearce on X, Breakker will specifically defend his Intercontinental Championship against Penta. Last week in Brussels, Belgium, Penta defeated Ludwig Kaiser in a no-holds-barred match, after which he proclaimed his interest in pursuing Breakker's title. On the same night, Breakker successfully defended his title against the Judgment Day's Finn Balor, thanks to some inadvertent assistance from Dominic Mysterio. Mysterio and Carlito launched an attack on Breakker after the bell, but much to their surprise, Penta rushed down to even the odds for Breakker. With Mysterio and Carlito later neutralized, Penta and Breakker stared off, laying the groundwork for their upcoming title match. Breakker's current reign began with a victory over Jey Uso in October. Since then, he's enjoyed successful defenses on Raw, Survivor Series, Saturday Night's Main Event, and various live events. Meanwhile, Penta has thrived as a single star since making his WWE debut in January. Along the way, he's racked up victories against Ludwig Kaiser, Pete Dunne, Chad Gable, and Grayson Waller, the latter of whom will be competing in a tag team match alongside Austin Theory on tomorrow's episode of Raw. Elsewhere, Women's Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria will put her title on the line against the Judgment Day's Raquel Rodriguez. Now, the date and location for Ring of Honor's Supercard of Honor pay-per-view has been revealed. Ring of Honor is on the road to Supercard of Honor. The annual pay-per-view has taken place near or on WrestleMania weekend for more than a decade, but this year's event will now have its new home and own home outside of the WrestleMania festivities. According to AEW's ticketing site, Supercard of Honor will take place on May 2nd at the Adrian Phillips Theater at Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey. The venue, formerly owned by President Donald Trump, was the site of WrestleMania 4 and 5. As it stands, it is still the only venue to host 2 consecutive WrestleManias in a row. The show marks the first time Supercard of Honor has run in May since 2011. There is no word on the start time for the event. AEW has not run an event in Boardwalk Hall since 2022, when the company held events there in February and November. Previously owned by Sinclair Broadcast Group, Ring of Honor was purchased by Tony Khan in 2022 after financial strains caused by the global COVID-19 pandemic resulted in the long-running independent promotion closing its doors for a brief period in 2021. Despite AEW recently having successful negotiations to renew its media rights deal with WBD, Ring of Honor still remains only a streaming show, broadcasting on the Honor Club platform much like it did in the days before the AEW purchase. As it stands, AEW is currently on the road to Dynasty, the upcoming upcoming pay-per-view on April 6th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Of course, that will be headlined by Jon Moxley, defending the AEW World Championship against Swerve Strickland. We'll have a watch-along and a post-show for that pay-per-view. Mark Henry, the former AEW commentator and WWE Hall of Famer, is certainly back in the WWE family. Following his departure from All Elite Wrestling last year, Mark Henry has resurfaced in the WWE circle, with his latest appearance taking place at WWE Saturday Night's Main Event in January. Per a new announcement, it seems that Henry's relationship with WWE has now grown even closer. This weekend, Ringside Collectibles shared footage via X of Henry confirming his WWE Legends/Nostalgia deal signing before a live audience. According to the figure retailer, this contract will include a new WWE Mattel action figure of Henry. Further details of Henry's deal were not disclosed, though Legends deals typically offer payments from merchandise sales as well as television and video game appearances. Backed by reigns as WWE World Heavyweight Champion and ECW Champion, Henry received his official induction into the WWE Hall of Fame in April 2018. The same month, Henry competed in the Greatest Royal Rumble, which remains his latest professional wrestling match to date. In recent years, Henry has been open to a formal retirement match, depending on the state of his health. In the meantime, Henry has made some notable appearances amongst the crowd at WWE events, including an August 2024 episode of Raw and the aforementioned Saturday Night's Main Event. So Henry is now back in the WWE family. An update here on Jay White missing this past week's edition of AEW Dynamite. Last week, a blizzard swept across the Midwest, resulting in heavy snow and whiteout conditions. Additionally, many All Elite Wrestling staff and talent had their travel plans disrupted en route to Omaha, Nebraska, the site of AEW's Dynamite, and one of the cities hit by the blizzard. While some arrived at the show by driving, others couldn't make it at all. According to Fightful Select, former AEW World Trios champion Jay White is amongst those who ultimately missed Dynamite, as well as AEW Collision tapings that accompanied it. AEW fans last saw White on the March 12th edition of Dynamite, in which he addressed his recent actions at AEW Revolution. According to White, he did not intentionally strike Cope, aka Adam Copeland, with the briefcase during his AEW World Championship match at Revolution. Still, White asserted that he was the rightful number one contender to the respective title, which is currently held by Jon Moxley. After driving several hours to Omaha, Nebraska, Moxley defended the AEW World Championship against Cope once again, this time in a street fight on Dynamite, and once again, Moxley's retained, though not without some outside help and post-match battle scars after being impaled on Spike, Cope's nail-filled piece of wood. Now, next we're going to talk about the reaction to SmackDown in Italy, specifically Bologna this past Friday. The backstage reaction to Friday's WWE SmackDown that took place in Bologna, Italy has been revealed. WWE's European tour continued with Friday's SmackDown show, which took place in Bologna, Italy. The show featured Roman Reigns, CM Punk and Seth Rollins under one roof, with their segment closing the show, leading to a triple threat brawl between the three men, and of course a match now set for WrestleMania 41. The show also saw Randy Orton and Kevin Owens make their match official for WrestleMania 41, as well as Jade Cargill making her in-ring return in a losing effort to Liv Morgan. In an update on the show from Fightful Select, those who worked the SmackDown show in Bologna noted that, while it wasn't said to be as hot as other crowds, the company was happy with the turnout for the show. Next week's SmackDown is set to take place in London, England, and will feature a United States Championship match between LA Knight and Braun Strowman. And finally, going back to AEW Collision last night, Max Caster had some choice words for his former Acclaimed tag team partner. Max Caster has claimed that Anthony Bowens isn't coming back to AEW. The self-proclaimed and trademarked best wrestler alive, Max Caster held another open challenge on the March 22nd episode of AEW Collision Slam Dunk Saturday. Before his challenge was answered, Caster stated that he has a busy schedule, unlike his ex-partner Anthony Bowens. After the crowd chanted, "We want Bowens," Caster said that Bowens wasn't there and he wasn't coming back because he ran him out of AEW. Bowens has not wrestled since he and Caster lost to the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, on the January 1st episode of AEW Dynamite. The Acclaimed officially split on the January 18th episode of the same show. Hook answered Caster's open challenge and quickly defeated him. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. A reminder, you can join the WN365 roster by clicking the join button, as well as clicking the link in the video description. You get your badges, your emojis, and your exclusive members-only content. That includes a lot of gaming coming to the channel very soon. Also, be sure to check out the sidebar. That gives you all the latest details when it comes to future watch-alongs and post-shows. We're going to be back doing a watch-along and post-show Friday night on SmackDown for SmackDown from England. England, as well as the following Raw from England on the Monday. AEW Dynasty is coming up. We'll be doing a watch-along and a post-show for that. We'll also be doing lots more watch-alongs and post-shows for the Raws and SmackDowns as we get closer to WrestleMania, as well as WrestleMania itself. So I appreciate everyone tuning in. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, click the notification bell, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.